Hello, I welcome you all and thank you for joining us today for the launch of MindAge Clock on the Senoclock platform, home of all our aging clocks. My name is Dipankar and I'm the CEO of Deep Longevity. Many of you were with us when we launched Senoclock last year. Today is an equally important milestone for us as we keep our promise of making Senoclock a unique aging clock platform, one of its kind in the market, which means our clocks are available to enterprises. It's also important for us to clarify that we do not have any sort of a diagnostic kit, right? We do not go and collect data in the marketplace. The data belongs to the enterprise who would be owning or working with their customers, their employees, their patients. We'll need the data in a digital form, which we'll process using our proprietary deep neural networks. And then what we'll share with them is the biological age and health recommendations. Now, before I get into MindAge, I think it's important for us to sort of look at the magnitude of the problem in front of us. I think everybody understands the importance of mental health. We see organizations making allowances all over the world, but the scale is really startling, right? There is established literature saying 1 in 4 people experience mental health problems in England, about 1 in 5 in the US. The mental health well-being challenges affect majority of the global workforce, and 59% people report having at least one mental health challenge. And this is, as is from a McKinsey report, across regions, industries, and age groups. And the biggest reason, toxic workplace behavior. And we do believe that the technology that we are launching today can have significant impact in mitigating this cause. Another statistic, this is very US based from the National Safety Council at the University of Chicago, which says employers spend on an average about $15,000 on employees experiencing mental health issues. But I think the trend is something that we are witnessing again in all parts of the world, because this cost comes from days of work missed, employee turnover, replacement costs, and greater healthcare use by workers and family members. Again, something that we aim to help with this preventative framework that we have created. So how does MindAge work? The premise is really simple. The user will fill up a psychological survey, like Alex mentioned. Our algorithms will generate the MindAge, which will be compared against chronological age. We have a database of interventions provided by psychologists and experts. This tailored content is then shared with the user. The user actually works on that and then repeats the survey to continue to be on a wellness path. The MindAge itself is an ensemble of deep learning models. Right? We analyze the psychological profile across 6 well-being parameters. These are autonomy, personal growth, self-acceptance, positive relations, purpose in life, and environmental mastery. The AI is creating a psychological profile and projecting that on a grid where it is saying that you belong to this island of stability, but at the same time, it also identifies an adjacent higher plane of well-being and then carves a path which is a unique pathway for every user in terms of how the user can actually attain a higher plane of well-being. And we'll see this shortly, how this will happen. So quick summary about the Senoclock SaaS platform. This is home for all our aging clocks. You get the predictions nearly real time, sometimes in seconds, matter of minutes. It's highly scalable. You can deploy the technology for a handful of users, for a few hundred users, and for tens or thousands of users if need be. The way we are building our clocks is it's agnostic to protocols. So we can work with information from any labs, any place of the world. And we have privacy at the core of how the product is designed. So we don't store any patient data beyond 72 hours, and we can handle anonymized reports as well. So let's look at Senoclock now. So the enterprises will see the portal, which will look like this. You'll have a login and password, and then you could log into the portal. Now you see BloodEdge here, and I won't spend time on this. We did the launch last year. The video is there on the website. You can go to Senoclock and look it up. We'll go to MindEdge, but you notice that BloodEdge has got a nice red theme. Now, if you go to MindEdge, it's a different product. The theme changes. It's a nice blue color. You would appreciate that we have gone to great lengths to keep the user experience the same. So our customers who are using BloodEdge, when they start using MindEdge, they will find the platform very easy to use. But being SaaS, it is a journey of evolution. It's a journey of adding products, adding features, and we have done that significantly in MindEdge. So there are a lot of new features and functionality that you will see in MindEdge, which again, we plan to bring it back into BloodEdge in our next release. And like Alex mentioned, we have plans to release other aging clocks. Epigenetic Age is next, which we plan to bring to the marketplace in a few months' time. So you will see a third clock being added here. So let's look at the scenario where there's a person, he meets the therapist or a nurse, and the nurse is actually, or the therapist or the doctor is actually administering the questionnaire. The questionnaire looks like something like this. We have a set of 24 questions. Each question is answered in a range of 1 to 7. What we need from our client is to have an external ID for the user and the age and gender. Now the user can actually choose to have the test date and date of birth instead of age, and we can calculate the age as well. Now the external ID is kept in mind because we need some sort of a unique connector which will tell the enterprise that this is the user, right? So this could be a unique ID in their system, or it could even be a proxy ID to that unique ID, which then they use to link up. So this is the list of 24 questions that I was talking about. This is the external ID or the patient ID, the age, and this is the gender. So I have the conversation, and this can happen face-to-face. This can happen over a phone. I get the inputs. I save the file. I'm going to swap screens. Feral, please let me know if you are able to see the application now.
Yes, we see Mind-Age page of the web browser.
Yeah. So similar to BloodEdge, you can see you can upload this questionnaire, right? So you will see I am in BU2. You will see total tests uploaded here are 34, reports processed are 28, and the count should go up by 1. MindEdge pops up and I say generate report. Now on here, you see there is a window, and if you realize that, well, you actually didn't quite get a particular response and you want to change the file, then you can delete this and you can re-upload the file. System, however, keeps track in the delete count because we want to make sure that the platform is not being misused. Here I will go on and generate the report. Let's give it a few seconds. You can see the test is uploaded and the report has been processed. Now, if I click here, it shows me that on 20th April, with this external ID, the survey was submitted. Now, the physician, nurse, whoever has done this can easily download this report and then share this back with the user via email, WeChat, WhatsApp, whatever communication channel they have in place. So let's look at how the MindEdge report looks like today. Is the PDF visible now?
Yes, Deep.
Thanks, Fedor. So this is the cover page. This is co-branded. You see the ID of the user, the age and the gender. This is the name of the company who is using MindEdge, and this is their logo. The next page gives the chronological age as well as the MindEdge. It gives an explanation. It also compares how this person is with respect to others in our database, and it sort of acts as a proxy for a projection into the population. Then we come to the heart of MindEdge, and where we leverage the popularly used Rift scale to come up with a psychological profile. So we look at the 6 well-being parameters: positive relations with others, self-acceptance, autonomy, personal growth, environmental mastery, and purpose in life. And then we are looking at the well-being scores, which are split across 3 zones of distress, improve, and comfort. We have built our aging clocks keeping in mind that they should be accessible to everyone in the world. And not everyone in the world is tuned to health or understands everything about their own health or these terms or these jargons. So we have gone to great lengths to actually explain this to the layman. So when they see it, they are able to make sense of this report, actually for any of our aging clocks reports, and have an informed discussion with the healthcare practitioner. So therefore, we explain what these well-being parameters are, what's positive relations with others, right? And we have a definition: deep, meaningful connections with your family, friends, and colleagues. What does the high score mean? You have people you can rely on in difficult situations. Others see you as a giving person, and you are ready to make compromises to build strong relations. We explain what a low score means. Then we have the individual score. Once we have done that, then the algorithm, looking at the combination of this, comes up with a list of recommendations which they believe are going to be very helpful for the user. So we have the recommendation, we have the description, and then we have a small area for action taken. We do believe in journaling. We have released previous applications, consumer-oriented applications, where we tested this to great success. So this can be a tool which is very useful for a user when they are in between appointments, when they are actually waiting for an appointment for a therapist, and they can get some relief from this process. They can actually write down what is the actions that they are taking on PDF, using the tools in the PDF, or they can print it out and then write it by hand and then share it with their therapists when they are meeting them. You will see there are 6 pages. We have a set of 12 recommendations, which again, we found out to be a good set, which allows a user enough time to reflect, to take some actions, work on those actions before they can come and do a survey again. We have a box at the end which talks about the recommendation rating. This is where we as an organization want to get feedback from our users where possible, where they can tell us if they are able to really relate to those recommendations and if some are better than the others. I'll go back to MindEdge application now. Is the application on the screen now?
Yes, Deep.
Thanks, Pedro. So you also see a button here which shows action. So what the physician can do actually is they can click on this button and they can then see the entire dashboard of everything that has happened with that patient so far. So this table, the MindEdge summary details and the MindEdge history table, lists all of those reports which the user has done in the past. It gives the date, it gives the scores, gives the MindEdge overall, then the well-being scores, and then it allows the physician to actually download each one of those reports. And you can go back as as long as you want in history. The visualization here is for the last 5 records. And you can see I just did one today on 20th, and I did a few yesterday before. It's becomes very easy for the person who is taking care of the end user to see and track how the person is doing across each one of these well-being scores and have that conversation, right? So this obviously has been done in a test mode, but if it is happening every week, every 2 weeks, once in a month, whatever the frequency they decide on, then they can have a conversation to say, okay, what is happening, right? Why is this particular score changing? Why is there a difference? What's happening to the mind age over a period of time? Now, speaking with our stakeholders, our customers, we also understood that it might not be very desirable for a number of organizations, again, in different parts of the world. They may not even have the time for the healthcare practitioner to actually administer the survey. Also, the survey and the questions are designed in a way, some of them are slightly wonky, where we would actually want the person to think and reflect and see what does it really mean to them. And this would take time. So it's important that we created a feature and a facility for the user to do it themselves. But we had to do it in a way which can be done in an anonymized manner, because that is the way we have built SenaClock, where we are not storing any PII at all. So we have the functionality of GoToSurvey. Now, I'm running a mental health clinic, and I have certain users or patients, and I know I want them to use this survey. So I'm going to write their unique number, which I have on my system, and I'm going to click New User Survey Link. When I click on this button, it's going to create a record in the system. So you see a new link has been generated. I copy this. I can close this, and you can see the external ID, a new record has been created. So this link is again shared to the end user via email, could be sent via WhatsApp, could be sent via any of the other messaging tools that they might be using. What the user sees is a unique link. They would enter their gender. Let's say I'm a female, I'm 34 years old, and then they will see the questionnaire. Now the same questionnaire is there in a web-based form. They could do it also on their phones using any of the devices. So I'm going to go through this quickly. Obviously, we want the end user to reflect upon this, think upon this, see how they fit into the scale, and then choose the right values. You see there are 24 questions. At the bottom, there is a tracker which links and tracks how many questions have been answered, how many are left. So it tells me 16 more are left and keeps counting to a countdown. I have 8 left now. I'm going to do this a bit quickly. And it's done. That's it. The user has submitted the questionnaire. So I come to SenaClock and I see I created this user ID and the survey count has gone up by 1. I can click on this. As a physician, I can go look at what were the scores. I can look at what were the recommendations that were shared. I can download this like I did before, send it to the user. I can actually send it to the user with some additional information, again, based on the scores, with some specific instruction. So this enables the conversation to flow between the physician and the end user. We have the feature of multiple business unit. We understand there could be hospitals there, clinics there, who are operating in different cities. So what is coming across here as BU 1, 2, 3 are actually business units, which can be named as those clinics. And the patient can actually go to any clinic. So once the patient ID is entered, it's a master record, it's a unique record that stays in the in our system. I can spend some time and look at statistics. So you have the ability. Our pricing is on every prediction, so it would becomes important for our customers as well to be able to track every successful report, every successful prediction that is being made by Senoclock. So here you can you have various views of slicing and dicing the data, methods of slicing and dicing the data, and looking at where your reports are coming from, which clinic, which business unit is doing more than the others, which clocks are being used. All of that is going to be tracked here. So I'm back on the survey history page. Now we have sent the survey to the user. The user has got the report. They are working on some of those actions. A week has passed or a couple of weeks have passed, and there is a schedule that has been established, and you want to actually send a report again to the end user. So and you can have potentially a very long page and hundreds of rows, and you can actually look it up simply by typing up the external ID here. So I know the user ID of the patient. I put in the ID here, and I say MindAge history, and it takes me to the history, and I can then look up and see, okay, when did the last survey come in? You can also use the browser functionality and a simple Windows or Mac functionality and type in, and then it tells you where the record is. Now, once you have recorded this and once you've identified the record, you have the option of actually generating a second survey. So you can click the generate link. This is an existing user, copy the link and send the link again. So you can see the total count is 3. I will not go through the same exercise again, but you can easily imagine you send the survey link, you fill up the survey, the count will go up, and then it will reflect in the MindAge dashboard as well. That is everything we had from a application standpoint. I do have one more slide I want to touch upon. And the point that I'd like to emphasize here is you can see this application. You can see that you saw the demo. We'll have the curated video also uploaded. It's very easy to use. We are happy to do the trainings for our enterprises, record those trainings. But we have actually built a system which is very intuitive, very easy to use. And it sort of sits in very nicely with whatever ecosystem the clinics have in terms of managing the information of their end users and interacting with them. This entire application is actually, and this entire functionality is also available as an API. So we do white label our aging clocks. So if there are organizations, employers, insurers who are looking to do something around mental health, then we are able to provide our technology as an API. Which brings me to an important point of actually discussing some use cases that we think are very relevant. Is the slide visible now?
Yes, Deep.
So this is the last slide of the presentation, and I think together we can reflect on what are the industry use cases of this technology of aging clocks as a technology. We believe this is a powerful preventative health tool that can be used by employers. It can be personalized care that is extended to the employees. And knowing the biological age or the psychological or mind age can be the perfect call to action, right? You know that certain markers or your cholesterol or something is off, and that may not really trigger an action in an individual. But if you know that you are 45, but your body is actually resembling a 50-year-old, it might be a far greater motivation to do something. This session was all about how MindAge can work for psychologists and therapists. So I think I touched upon this point enough. This is an additional assessment measure which can be leveraged by them. This provides the technology which gives continuous engagement and helps build resilience in between visits. For insurance providers, we see unique customer engagement as a fantastic motivation where insurers can actually connect with their policy holders. Like I said, our technology is available as an API, so we can integrate with existing apps and websites. And we need to address the huge gap in mental health. And we have done research where we have shown that mental health, and Alex pointed this out in his presentation as well, affects your physical health. It affects your biological aging. We are looking to work and actually working with a couple already large apps and software platforms who have their own customers, who have their own unique customer journeys, who are looking at health, mental health in a comprehensive way. We can provide a powerful feature set by the existing functionality that we bring. And using this, we can then allow them to fashion unique customer journeys. And the same ability for consumer health companies can help drive personalized nutrition, which is already catching up and is going to become very, very big. And this can therefore also allow them to measure the impact of any prevention and wellness products that their consumers are using. That is the end of the presentation.